Hi guys, we are back again. So today we are going to learn about the polar and nonpolar compounds. Polar molecules occur when there is an electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms. So how do we determine if a compound is a polar or nonpolar? If the difference of electronegativity between two atoms is less than 0.5, then the compound is a polar one. And if it is more than 0.5, then the compound is said to be a nonpolar. A polar compound forms when two bonded atoms share the electrons unequally. Let us take this water as an example. We need to find the electronegativity of oxygen and hydrogen first. So oxygen has 3.5 electronegativity while hydrogen has 2.1 electronegativity. As we can notice, the oxygen has more electronegativity than the hydrogen. So the oxygen will pull the electrons from hydrogen towards itself, showing a dipole moment that goes towards the oxygen atom. And so it will acquire a partial negative charge while the hydrogen will acquire a partial positive charge, which makes the water polar. Another example is the NH3 or the ammonia. Nitrogen has 3.0 electronegativity while the hydrogen has 2.1 electronegativity. We can see that nitrogen is more electronegative than the hydrogen, so the nitrogen will pull the electrons from the hydrogen towards itself, showing a dipole moment that goes towards the nitrogen atom, which will make the nitrogen acquire the partial negative charge and the hydrogen a partial positive charge. Thus, ammonia is a polar. Now, how about a nonpolar? Nonpolar forms between two atoms that share the electrons equally. Carbon has 2.5 electronegativity while the oxygen has 3.5 electronegativity. Since oxygen is more electronegative than the carbon, the oxygen will pull the electrons from carbon toward itself, showing the dipole moments that are opposite to each other, hence cancelled out, having a zero dipole moment. Thus, carbon dioxide is a nonpolar. Another example is the carbon tetrafluoride. But before we get to the polarity of the compound, let us first check the polarity of the bond. Carbon has 2.5 electronegativity while fluorine has 4.0 electronegativity. When we subtract these two, we will be able to get an electronegative difference of 1.5. Thus, carbon-fluorine bond is polar. Now let us check why carbon tetrafluoride is an example of nonpolar compound. Since fluorine is highly electronegative than the carbon, fluorine will pull the electron of the carbon toward itself, showing the dipole moments facing the different directions of this tetrahedral shape, hence cancelled out, resulting to a zero dipole moment, which makes carbon tetrahedral a nonpolar despite having polar bonds. That's all guys, thank you for watching!